I might have a new favorite show. Again. Hello, but welcome back to another video. And today, I'm talking about something different from the rest what I normally talk about on my channel. If you're a new viewer, you might be thinking, what's so different? But if you're an old someone who's already subscribed to me, you might be thinking, why the heck are you making this? This isn't like your normal content. You're normally talking about Marvel and DC, which yes, I love Marvel and DC, that's what I know talk about. But I checked this show out, and I was really surprised on how much I liked it. And if you haven't guessed by the title and the thumbnail, yes, that show is actually Wednesday. So let's start with my knowledge of the Addams Family, because I'll be completely honest with you, I haven't seen anything Addams Family all the way through from beginning to end. I know who the Addams Family are, and obviously I know their theme song Inside and Out. I've seen, I think, 2 episodes of the original 60s show, and I've seen half of the first 90s movie, and I've seen trailers for the 2 animated movies that came out in 2019 and 2021, but I've never actually seen them all the way through beginning to end. I'm going to change that. I have started binging through. I'm going to watch the 60s show, the 90s movies, the 2 animated movies, the animated show, and I'm going to try the new Addams Family live-action show as well, just so I can know more and see which one I like, because as of right now, this is the most I've learned about the Addams Family. But yeah, I'm going to start off without spoilers, and then I'm going to into some spoilers, because let's get started. Where to start? You know what, let's start with the cast, because the cast in this show was amazing. So, Jenna Ortega as Wednesday Addams herself was awesome. Now, something I really wanted to point this out. This is something I noticed, this funny detail, and then I started seeing videos on it like a week later, like when they first announced Jenna Ortega as Wednesday. Well, or at least close to that time, I was like, huh. On the show I used to watch growing up, Stuck in the Middle, which was a Disney Channel show, her character Harley made the joke saying her family has 7 kids, she's the middle kid, and if her family were days in the week, she'd be Wednesday. Now she's playing Wednesday. I'm gonna say I figured that out first, but you know, whether it's true or not, I don't know. But that is hilarious to me. But yeah, I knew who Jenna Ortega was. I've seen some things in her. Not Scream. No, I have not seen that. Not yet, at least. But so she was really good in this show. Like, I don't know how to explain it to you, because she was able to show emotion without showing any emotion, because the way she, I don't know how to explain it. The way she was able to act with her eyes, you could tell how she was feeling, even though there was like no emotion on her face whatsoever. So that was awesome. I mean, she also never blinked when filming this show. That's awesome. That's commitment right there. And then the rest of the cast was really good. I'll be completely honest, I don't know the names of anyone else in the cast, but they were, well, I know Emma Myers played, I think that's her name, played Enid, her roommate. She did a phenomenal job. I definitely bought her as a character. When it comes to the rest of the Addams Family, I liked them as the Addams Family. I thought they did a pretty good job. But yeah, speaking of these characters, let's actually talk about the characters, because like Wednesday Addams, they made me like the character way more than I ever thought I would. Because going into it, yes, I knew who Wednesday Addams was. I knew who the entire Addams Family were. But when I first heard, really, you're gonna make a TV show about only Wednesday, or at least make her the star? That's weird. Wouldn't you rather make a show about all of them? But like, I don't know. Wednesday has no emotions and is extremely dark. I'm not sure if that would work as a show. I was wrong. Like, I was definitely intrigued by the idea. That's why I checked the show out. But I was surprised by how much they made me like the character. And she had this amazing character arc, too, where she didn't go from this dark, brooding character to now she's just lighthearted, happy person. Not at all. But like, she, I guess this is a spoiler. Technically, it's a spoiler alert. I'm gonna put up a spoiler thing, and then you can mute until it's gone. But she does eventually come around and starts letting people in, which she always pushed them away. Ever since we learned her pet Scorpion died, she pushed people away, and it was amazing. I'm going to talk about a specific scene with Thing later on when I talk mainly spoilers. Alright, back. No spoilers now. Enid was a whole lot of fun. She was just like really enjoyable and really funny. I thought she was a great character. Bianca, wait, was that her name? The one, she did a great job too, because like when the show starts off, she's like this bully antagonist character, and you're like really annoyed by her. You kind of hate her. You're like, oh, this person, oh my goodness, I just want to. But then as the show goes on, you're like, wow, I actually really like this character, and I'm starting to root for this character. Like, that was done really well. The love triangle that's in it, I think they did a pretty good job with making us like both of the guys in the love triangle. At least I came to like both of them. And even the guy that Enid ends up liking, they made him pretty likable too, so he was fun to be around. They even made me care about Eugene, who's someone that actually becomes friends with Wednesday, which I didn't expect them to become friends, but they did, and I really liked their friendship throughout the whole show. And when they had his fake death, it really made my jaw drop too. I'm really glad he survived. But yeah, they made me care about him and Wednesday's relationship, which was really fun too. The actual Addams family themselves, the very little we saw them, I enjoyed them. I thought they were fun. It was fun to be around them. I definitely would like to learn more about this version of them, especially because like some of them got like almost no screen time, others got a bit more. But I have to admit, I think my favorite character in this whole show is Thing. He's just so funny. He's so much fun. He's so awesome. He was just like he's the best character in this show. He's my favorite character in the show, I think, because he was just so much fun. I really enjoyed him. And then when it comes to the mystery too, the mystery I thought was done really well, because like I was constantly second guessing. Like I guessed some of it correctly. I'll get into that more in spoilers. I guessed some of it correctly with some of the aspects of it, but when it comes to other things, I was second guessing. I was confused. I was intrigued by the mystery from beginning to end. I thought the mystery was really good, and it really was that mystery that kept me wanting to come back every single time. And even the ending of every episode was like this really good cliffhanger. Honestly, a lot of the ending of these episodes felt like something you'd get with a movie that's starting to do a franchise. Like, to me, like that's kind of what some of the movies felt like, or some of the endings felt like. Yeah, I thought the mystery was done really well, and it was really engaging and intriguing. I really enjoyed it. And I really wanted to talk about the music too, because like the score of this show I thought was really good. Not only did I really like the original Wednesday theme, but also they had some great music choices in here, and some of them they would like blend into the background, where I'd be like, huh, this score sounds really familiar. It's really good, but it's really familiar. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, it's Painted Black, or oh my gosh, it's Nothing Else Matters. I was like, the way they incorporated it into the background score was just amazing, I thought. But yeah, so I think that's all I can talk about without diving into spoilers. I really enjoyed the show. I'm super surprised, because I wasn't expecting like as much as I did. And as a huge Marvel DC fan, granted I have not seen Peacemaker yet, this might be my favorite show of the year, even though we've had 3 Marvel shows.
You.
No, not me.
Look like the capable sort.
No, go away.
Help me deal with the security here, will you?
No.
Come on.
No.
How long does it take to bypass some security?
Anyway, like I was trying to say before I was so rudely interrupted, I can't really say it's the best show of 2022, because there's still a whole bunch of shows I want to see and haven't seen yet, like Stranger Things 4, like The Peripheral, like I think Cobra Kai had a new season this year, like the current seasons of the Arrowverse. I'm not caught up on that yet.
Really taking off, huh?
So I can't really say too much about if it's the best show of 2022. But I really enjoyed it, especially from the shows I have seen so far. But yeah, now I'm going to get into spoilers. Now, if you're someone who has not seen the show yet and you think, should I check it out? I definitely think you should check it out, because I thought it was really enjoyable. And also, one more thing before we get into spoilers, they definitely weren't afraid to go dark and violent. They were able to do it right, that way it didn't like get pushed over the edge. Like, it wasn't like, oof, this is some R-rated stuff. Why'd they make an R-rated Addams Family spinoff? It was just dark enough, just bloody enough to get the point across, to be enjoyable. Because let's be honest, you're making a show about Wednesday Addams. The show's gonna be dark. There's no doubt about it. And they weren't afraid to go dark. They weren't afraid to get bloody. But yeah. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, the humor in this show is actually really good too. It was mostly dark humor, but most of it landed for me personally. Like, I was surprised at how much I laughed throughout the show. I laughed a lot throughout the show, and I was definitely not expecting it. A lot of it just came from, like, Wednesday's snarky remarks. Some of it was just, like, ironic, and there's a bunch of, references and funny stuff like that. So, to me, it was surprisingly really funny. So, yeah. Now, let's dive into spoilers. So, definitely go check the show out if you haven't yet. And now, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the show, click away, come back after you've seen it. I'll give you a few more seconds to click away. Now let's dive into some spoilers. So, I don't have any notes written down like I normally do just because I just wanted to talk. So I'm probably going to forget some things. But, yeah, I'm just going to talk all willy-nilly with spoilers. So let's talk about the one thing I really want to talk about because, I'm not going to lie, it was the one time, I think it was the only time I actually did tear up in this show. And that was the fake out death with Thing. Oh my gosh, was I shocked because pretty much the villains draw Wednesday out, and while she's gone, because she has this book that they want, while she's gone, someone stabs Thing. She shows up, Thing is stabbed, blood all over him. Luckily, her Uncle Fester is there, so she takes Thing to him, and they try to bring him back to life. And this is the first time since she was a very little girl and her pet scorpion died. This is like the second time she's ever cried. To me, and Jenna Ortega just portrayed it brilliantly. Like, you really bought the fact that this, hand was dying. And honestly, I think the reason why it was so emotional was because of the way Jenna Ortega played it. Because of the fact that, one, this is literally the second time she's ever cried, ever in her life. She refuses to cry no matter what, no matter who gets hurt, no matter who dies. And the fact that she thinks the Thing is going to die, and it makes her cry, is just so emotional. And the fact that I absolutely love Thing, I was like, dude, if they kill off Thing, I probably will hate the show. Because it was really good. And with the show, too, they weren't afraid to kill people off. There were tons of death in this season. Some characters, like some nameless characters that were just there to be a body count, to add to the mystery, to be a murder mystery. Others were like important main characters where you're like, what? They killed that character off? My gosh, they don't hesitate to kill off characters. So if any Addams Family show is going to kill off Thing, this would be the one to do it. I'm so glad they didn't. I would have been really upset if they did. But the way they did that scene, I thought was really well done. And yeah, another scene where Wednesday actually shows some emotion was actually in the very end. After Enid saves her life, Enid thinks that Wednesday is dead. She runs up, Enid gives her a hug, which is something they actually have been building towards since the beginning of the show, because she wants to greet her with a hug. Wednesday's like, yeah, no. And even when they become friends, she tries to hug her. She's like, yeah, no. And when she thinks she's leaving Nevermore forever, and she is upset because she doesn't want to leave Enid, even though she doesn't show it. Enid tries to hug her goodbye. She's like, yeah, no. But when they each think each other were in danger, Enid hugs her, and Wednesday actually hugs her back. To me, that was really, I thought that was great character development. So I really enjoyed that. Now let's talk about the actual mystery in of itself, because to me, I thought the mystery was done really well. I did actually guess correctly, because the monster was Tyler. And I knew it. Now the show does do a very good job, though, at making you suspect different people. Because at one point I was like, this guy's surprisingly nice, and Wednesday's actually telling him information. This guy could be the Hyde. And then he does like a bunch of this super nice stuff and helps Wednesday. I'm like, but would he actually be the Hyde? And then they do a bunch of stuff to make this person look like, I'm like, this person might actually be the Hyde. But what really made me think it was when they were in this building, this old building, looking for clues, and the monster all of a sudden attacks them. When we heard Tyler scream, two things went through my head. I said, either one, they killed off the character, or two, he is the Hyde and he's faking it. And the fact that he survived and was alive just with scratches, I was like, he is 100% the Hyde. And now they tried to make you think that Xavier was the Hyde, like they were constantly pushing it in your face, and Wednesday even puts him in jail for it. Me personally, even though I definitely suspected him at the beginning, the fact that they constantly kept pushing the fact that he was most obviously the Hyde, I was like, there's no way this guy's the Hyde. Because he has to be a red herring. The fact that they're making it so obvious and literally all clues are pointing to him, there's no way he's the Hyde. He's definitely the red herring. Now, that doesn't necessarily cross him out, because I've seen a couple mysteries just this year too, where the most obvious person was the killer. Like, spoiler alert for both Death on the Nile and the Batman, but like Death on the Nile, spoiler alert, the killer was the most obvious person, because they made Emma Mackey's character in the movie look like the very obvious person who's like, dang it, she's crazy, she's angry, she's got the motive, she could probably to kill Gal Gadot's character, and she ends up being the killer, one of the killers. And I even guessed, like, at the very beginning of the movie, I bet you it's all a scam from her and the husband. That guy doesn't actually like Gal Gadot's character, they just want her money. I was right. And even in the Batman, a movie I really loved, I really enjoyed, the fact that it was Falcone, who literally we all knew, anybody who knows Batman knows he's evil. And like, oh my goodness, who's this mystery villain? It's Falcone, you know, the obvious villain. What? So, you know, technically the fact that he was obvious doesn't necessarily mean that it's not him. But I was like, there's no way it's that obvious. And when it comes to the person controlling the Hyde, once again, I was constantly second guessing. Because, like, I'll be honest, once again, when the show first started, what's her name? Thornhill? I forget the actress's name. She played Wednesday in the the 90s movies. I'm playing on her name, Christian Riddy? No, that's not it. Is it? It might be. You guys will have to look. I'll know when I'm done with recording. I always do. But, like, at first I was like, she could actually be the killer, because you know who would... literally during episode 1 and 2, I was like, you know who would be the most shocking reveal to be the killer? The original Wednesday Addams. Because, let's be honest, most of us would probably think that she'd be a good character who they'd want to keep around for multiple seasons. And that's what made me think, you know what? She could be the killer. That'd be the best way to pull it over the audience and to be a shock. Get the original Wednesday Addams to play the killer. But then as the show went on, and we got to the middle section of the show, I was like, is she really the killer though? Because, like, she's in one place while the killer's in the other place. Like, is that possible? Plus, she seems like a character they would want to have in future seasons. And I end up technically being right, because even though I was second guessing, and I'll be honest, when they revealed who it was in the finale, I was shocked, because at that point in time, I wasn't 100% guessing her. It was just a guess I had, and one of my thoughts. So I thought that was done really well. And another thing they added to the mystery, I feel like that was actually really good, was the fact that we didn't know, because of the fact that the one person was doing research, that if the Hyde was in control of their actions or not. And by the sounds, and he was. And I'm not gonna lie, part of me was kind of hoping that he wasn't in control of his actions, because they did do a good job making me like Tyler. And part of me wonders if he ever had actual things for her. Like, why would he do that? Just to manipulate her, or was there some truth to it? I don't know. But yeah, I thought they did a really good job with that. And what's cool is that even though it can get messy at times, and yeah, that's true, I feel like they did a pretty good job at bringing in some of the... first of all, I love the supernatural world that they introduced here, which is weird because I'm not always into supernatural stuff. It has to be done really well for me to like it. They did it really well here, so I really liked it. But yeah, it had like ghosts in it. It had a whole bunch of stuff in it. They literally bring the evil pilgrim from years ago back to life. She meets her descendant, one of her descendants, that being Goody Addams, who's now a ghost. And yeah, I just really enjoyed the show. I thought it was done really well. Now, I've heard some people say it's like elevated CW, or it's like a CW show, and
I can't believe that Bryce
yeah, I can see that, mostly because of the fact that it's a mystery with a love triangle, and that is very CW of it. But I didn't mind it here. Like, I think this is probably the best love triangle I've seen. Granted, I haven't seen too many of them because I'm not a fan of when they do that in movies or shows. But I actually cared about both characters, even though I definitely suspected both of them. And I ended up being right about Tyler, just saying. They did make me like both characters, where I really liked Xavier, as well as I did like Tyler, and I was kind of hoping that he wasn't in control of his actions. He ended up being in control of his actions, so he got what he deserved, going to prison. But yeah. So yeah, I thought that was done really well. And the way they also... I do have questions about both these characters' future, because on the one hand, because they definitely hint at the fact that Wednesday killed Thornhill, because of the fact that, one, she promised Thing that she'd kill her in a horribly violent, torturous fashion. And she tells Eugene to look away, who was another character I really enjoyed. And I loved their friendship. I thought that was awesome. And it cuts away. Now, I think what they're trying to imply the fact that she did murder her in such a violent way they couldn't show it in a TV-14 show. But no body, no death. If Marvel's taught us anything, it's that unless you see their dead body, they ain't dead. So I definitely wonder what happened. She most likely is dead, but still, I'm very curious. And who knows, that could always come back to haunt her in future seasons, which I really hope there are future seasons. And then when it comes to Tyler, the way they ended it, I feel like he could possibly come back. One, I think he's definitely coming back somehow. But not only could he come back as a villain, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they bring him back, and they do, because I feel like I've seen it in some shows before, where they bring them back, the main villain of a season or a movie, they bring them back because our protagonist needs help. They help them out. He has this banter like, I totally fooled you, I almost killed you. And then at the very end, when they finally stop the main villain of the sequel or second season, he turns in the very end and tries to get them. Or they actually are redeemed, one of the two. So part of me feels like they're going to do that in the second season. They're going to bring him back. They're going to be like, well, there's someone who can help us. Maybe Tyler, and Tyler's going to be like, I fooled you so bad. You put Xavier in prison. You were even falling for me. And then at the end of that season, he'll either turn on them and we'll have another fight against him, or maybe he'll be redeemed, but I'm not sure. The way he was in that season, I don't think he'd be redeemed, but maybe. But yeah, I think they did a great job. And dude, this review is being way longer than I thought it was, so I'm gonna try to wrap it up. I don't want it to be an hour long, but yeah, Enid, I really enjoyed her. And even though her woofing out in the finale to save Wednesday, to me, was very predictable. The moment she says she hasn't woofed out yet, I predicted, I bet you she's going to woof out protecting Wednesday in the finale. That's exactly what happened. But it was still a pretty cool scene, and the fight scene was pretty cool, too. Seeing her battle it out was awesome. And her and Thing's relationship was just the best ever. I loved it. And yeah, there's a whole bunch more I want to talk about. I might have to do more videos on this show. Would you guys want to see more videos on this show or on anything really? Because I do see a bunch of other shows and movies that aren't Marvel and DC, so maybe you know, start doing reviews and stuff for those. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see that. And I'm definitely checking out season 2 if they make it. I really hope they. And yeah, I cannot wait for season 2. I'm very curious of how the sheriff is reacting to the rest of this, and everyone else too. Like, I want to see more of the mayor's son. I want to see what's going on with Bianca and her mother and their cult. I want to see way more of this world. And who the heck is stalking Wednesday? Because the way it makes it sounds like, even though we were led to believe that it was Thornhill, it actually wasn't, because they're still stalking her. Or maybe it was Thornhill and that's someone else is stalking her, who knows. But yeah, and yes, Wednesday, the suspense is killing me. They make it, I'm trying to think, I feel like there's other stuff I want to talk about, but I can't think what it is right now. We're running out of time, so I might have to make a sequel video to this. But yeah, thank you so much for taking time to watch. I hope you guys liked this video. If you liked it, please hit like. If you want to see more videos like this. Okay, I haven't reviewed a whole lot of other shows except for Marvel and DC ones. So, but please hit subscribe, because if you guys want me to do more of these videos, I will 100% do more of these videos on shows other shows and movies I've seen. Thank you so much for taking time to watch. I'll see you guys next video. And yeah, thanks for taking time to watch. Bye.